Dr. Sarah Chen had been warned about the wildlife on Kepler 442b. The xenobiologist had sent 3 detailed reports about the apex predators, the Vorkai, that ruled the Crimson Forests. 6-legged scaled hunters with razor-sharp claws, venomous fangs, and intelligence that bordered on sentience. The colonial Marines had lost 2 scouts to a Vorkai pack in the first month. So when Sarah felt tiny claws tugging at her hair while she crouched to collect soil samples, her first instinct was to freeze. The tugging came again, more insistent this time. A high-pitched chirp followed, nothing like the bone-chilling screech the reports had described. Sarah slowly turned her head, hand hovering near the plasma pistol at her hip. A pair of enormous amber eyes stared back at her. The creature was no bigger than a house cat, its scales shimmering between deep purple and black in the alien sunlight. 6 tiny legs scrambled against her shoulder and it chirped again, a sound of pure, desperate pleading. Its tail, tipped with what would someday be a lethal barb, wrapped around her forearm like a child seeking comfort. "Oh, hell," Sarah whispered. It was a Vorkai cub, and it was absolutely terrified. The forest around them had gone silent, never a good sign. Sarah's neural implant buzzed with proximity warnings. 3 large heat signatures approaching fast from the west. Not Vorkai, something else. Something the cub was fleeing from. The little predator chirped again and climbed fully onto Sarah's shoulder, burying its face against her neck. She could feel it trembling. Every piece of protocol screamed at her to put the creature down and run. Vorkai mothers were notoriously protective. Interfering with their young was a death sentence. But Sarah had spent 2 years studying predator behavior on Earth. Before joining the colonial expedition, she knew fear when she saw it, regardless of the species. "All right, little one," she murmured, slowly standing. "Let's move." She broke into a run, the cub clinging to her hair and collar with surprising strength. Behind them, something roared, a wet, gurgling sound that made her blood run cold. Not Vorkai. Through the crimson ferns, she caught glimpses of segmented bodies, each as thick as her torso. Caldrith, scavengers that hunted in swarms, stripping forests clean of anything with a pulse. Sarah's lungs burned as she vaulted over fallen logs, the cub adjusting its grip with each movement. It had stopped chirping, its tiny body pressed flat against her, instincts telling it to stay silent while being carried to safety. Just like a human child would, Sarah thought wildly. The research outpost was still 2 kilometers away, too far. The Caldrith were gaining, their clicking mandibles growing louder. Sarah's hand found her communicator. "Chen to Outpost 7. Need immediate extraction, coordinates following. Multiple hostiles in pursuit," static crackled. Then Commander Price's voice cut through. "Negative, Chen, we've got Vorkai surrounding the outpost." "Can't risk, they're protecting their young," Sarah gasped, understanding flooding through her. The Caldrith must have attacked their den. The cub got separated, a pause. "You have a Vorkai cub with you?" "Yes. And if I don't get it back to its pack, we're both dead." Another pause, longer this time. Sarah could almost hear Price's military training warring with common sense. Finally, "Rally point echo, 5 minutes. Price out." Sarah changed direction, legs pumping. The cub shifted and she felt tiny claws, sharp enough to shred flesh, carefully avoid her skin as it repositioned itself. It was being gentle, deliberately gentle. Rally point echo appeared through the trees, a clearing with emergency supply caches. Sarah burst into the open just as a Caldrith exploded from the underbrush behind her. She spun, plasma pistol rising, and fired 3 shots into its face. The creature shrieked and retreated, but more were coming. Then the forest erupted. Adult Vorkai descended from the canopy like vengeful gods, scales blazing in shades of crimson and gold. Sarah's tactical training identified 5 of the apex predators as they tore into the Caldrith swarm with devastating efficiency. Claws that could slice through combat armor ripped through chitin like paper. The battle was brief and brutal. Sarah stood frozen in the center of the clearing, the cub still clinging to her shoulder. The largest Vorkai, easily 3 meters long, approached with predatory grace, its amber eyes identical to the cub's but infinitely more intelligent, fixed on her. This was the mother. Sarah was certain of it. The creature lowered its head, scales rippling through a pattern Sarah's implant couldn't translate. A low rumble emanated from its chest. Not a threat, a question. Slowly, very slowly, Sarah reached up and gently encouraged the cub to let go. It chirped a protesting sound but released its grip. Sarah held it in both hands, feeling its rapid heartbeat. and extended her arms toward the mother. The massive Vorkai leaned forward and delicately took the cub in her jaws. The little one chirped excitedly, tail wagging. The mother placed it on her back where it nestled between her shoulder blades. Then the mother did something that would be debated by xenobiologists for decades. She pressed her forehead against Sarah's, scales warm and surprisingly smooth. The rumble in her chest changed pitch, softer, rhythmic. Sarah felt her neural implant spike with data as it tried to process the sound. Gratitude her mind supplied. She sang thank you. The Vorkai mother pulled back, her pack gathering around her. With one last look at Sarah, those amber eyes holding an intelligence that transcended species, she turned and vanished into the crimson forest. Commander Price's voice crackled over the comm. "Chen, what the hell just happened?" Sarah looked down at her hands, marked with tiny scratches where the cub had held on for dear life. A smile spread across her face. "I think," she said slowly, "we just made first contact. Real first contact. Because humans had learned long ago when a child reaches for you, any child, any species, you protect them. You carry them to safety. You don't question whether their parents might be dangerous or whether it breaks protocol or whether it's logical. You just do what's right. And maybe," Sarah thought as the extraction shuttle descended into the clearing, "that was humanity's real strength. Not their technology or their weapons or their stubborn refusal to die, but their absolute unwavering instinct to protect the young, even when those young belonged to the galaxy's most fearsome predators."